Have you noticed it too? Small planes are disappearing from our skies. The Cessna 172 Skyhawk, Piper Cherokee 140, Beechcraft Musketeer Sundowner, and other light singles that once filled every small airport are becoming rarer every year. Today, we're exploring why small planes are dying, why nobody seems willing to save them, and what this means for general aviation. Stick around. This is about more than just aircraft. It's about freedom, accessibility, and the heart of aviation itself. Once upon a time, small planes were everywhere. They introduced generations of pilots to the joy of flight. The Piper Cub J3 taught countless kids to love the sky. Cessna 150s and 177 Cardinals were the backbone of flight schools across North America and Europe. The Beechcraft Bonanza G36 and Piper Saratoga brought cross-country flying into reach for private owners. But now, these planes are slowly vanishing. Why? There isn't a single reason. It's a perfect storm of economic pressures, regulatory burdens, rising insurance, and the ever-increasing cost of hangar space. Even aircraft with legendary reliability like the Cessna 182 Skylane or Piper PA-28 Cherokee are becoming harder to maintain as parts become scarce and maintenance costs climb. Comment below if you've noticed fewer small planes at your local airport. Which models are disappearing fastest in your area? Let's start the conversation. Number 1. Economic pressures. The first reason small planes are dying is money. Owning and operating a light aircraft has become increasingly expensive. Insurance premiums for aircraft like the Diamond DA-40 Star, Piper M600 SLS, or even older aircraft like the Piper Comanche have skyrocketed. Fuel costs, hangar rent, and mandatory inspections push many owners to sell or stop flying entirely. Flight schools are also feeling the pinch. Training aircraft such as the Cessna 172 Skyhawk, Piper Cherokee 140, and Beechcraft Musketeer Sundowner are no longer as profitable to operate. Rising costs mean fewer students can afford flight lessons, which reduces demand for training aircraft, creating a downward spiral. Have you experienced rising costs affecting your flying habits? Comment below. How has inflation, insurance, or fuel impacted your ability to keep a small plane in the air? Number 2. Regulatory burdens. Regulations are another major factor. Modern certification rules, medical requirements, and inspections make operating small aircraft more complicated. Even pilots flying simple like the Piper PA-18 Super Cub or Cessna 150 face paperwork, compliance checks, and airworthiness directives that didn't exist decades ago. While safety is crucial, these layers of bureaucracy have unintentionally discouraged private ownership and small plane operations. Pilots now need time, money, and resources to keep even a classic aircraft like a Grumman AA-1 or Piper Saratoga legal and safe. Comment below, have regulatory changes influenced your decision to fly a small plane? Are older aircraft getting grounded simply because of paperwork? 3. Insurance challenges. Insurance is strangling small plane ownership. Premiums for planes like the Beechcraft Musketeer Sundowner, Piper Comanche, or Cessna 172 Skyhawk have doubled or tripled in the past decade, especially for pilots over 50. High-performance singles like the Diamond DA-50RG or Cirrus SR-22 are even worse. Insurance companies see risk, not skill. Experienced pilots with decades of safe flying suddenly face rates that make owning a small plane impractical. Some are forced to switch to cheaper, slower aircraft or stop flying entirely. This is a conversation worth having. Comment below. Have your insurance premiums made you reconsider flying your small plane? Which aircraft were hardest hit? 4. Hangar space and airport closures. Another silent killer is hangar space. Airports are closing, or hangars are being converted to corporate or commercial use. Even smaller models like the Piper PA-28 Cherokee or Cessna 172 Skyhawk struggle to find affordable safe storage. Aircraft like the Piper Cub, J3, Aviat Husky, or Just Aircraft Superstall often end up exposed to the elements because renting space is too expensive. Exposure accelerates corrosion, maintenance costs, and diminishes resale value. Comment below. Have you had trouble keeping a small plane due to hangar costs or airport closures? Which aircraft have you had to move or sell because of this? 5. Aging fleet and parts scarcity. The age of the small plane fleet is a major issue. Aircraft like the Cessna 177 Cardinal, Beechcraft Musketeer Sundowner, and Piper Cherokee 140 are often decades old. While many have been meticulously maintained, parts are becoming scarce. Engines, avionics, and airframe components are harder to source. Even classic aircraft like the de Havilland Canada DHC-2 Beaver, Piper PA-32 Saratoga Lance, or Beechcraft Bonanza G-36 are facing challenges. Owners may be forced to retire planes simply because maintenance costs are unsustainable. Comment below. Have you struggled to find parts for older small planes? Which models have become particularly hard to maintain over the years? Lack of advocacy. One of the most frustrating issues is that nobody seems to be fighting for small planes. Corporate jets, turboprops like the Pilatus PC-12 or King Air 260, and business-class aircraft get regulatory and industry attention. Small planes, your Piper Cub, Cessna 150, or Diamond DA-40 Star, receive little support. There are fewer programs encouraging new ownership, fewer subsidies, and limited advocacy for keeping general aviation accessible. As a result, smaller aircraft slowly disappear from the skies. Comment below. Do you think enough is being done to protect small planes? Should there be programs to support their ownership and operation? 7. The cultural shift. Finally, culture is changing. Young pilots are drawn to drones, simulators, or faster aircraft like Cirrus SR-22s and Epic E-1000GX. Recreational flying in slow with simple aircraft is less appealing. Combined with cost, regulation, and insurance hurdles, this means fewer new pilots are entering the world of small planes. The next generation may never know the thrill of flying a Piper Cub J3, a Cessna 172 Skyhawk, or a Piper Cherokee 140 for training and fun. That's a cultural and aviation loss. Comment below. Do you see fewer small planes at your local airport compared to 10 to 20 years ago? Which models have vanished first? Number 8, the path forward. So what can be done? Pilots, flight schools, and the GA community need to advocate for affordability, reduce unnecessary regulatory burdens, and encourage young pilots to experience small planes. Aircraft like the Sling T-Side Pipistrel Panthera, Diamond DA-40 Star, and Just Aircraft Superstol are modern options that keep small plane flying alive, but legacy models like the Piper Cub, J3, Cessna 172, and Beechcraft Musketeer Sundowner must also be preserved. Comment below. How do you think small plane aviation can survive? Should there be government support, subsidies, or more awareness programs? Your insights could help shape the future of GA. Conclusion. Small planes are dying, not because they aren't valuable, fun, or safe, but because economics, regulation, insurance, hangar costs, and cultural shifts are slowly pushing them out. The Cessna 172 Skyhawk, Piper Cherokee 140, Beechcraft Musketeer Sundowner, Piper Cub J3, and many other classics are fading from our skies. Comment below, which small plane do you fear will disappear next? Which aircraft from your youth or early flying days do you miss seeing at your local airport? By sharing your thoughts, we can raise awareness and maybe, just maybe, help save these incredible machines for future generations.